which has risen in popularity a bit recently.
Ogmore. That's an interesting one.
Oh, they're going the G2 composition. So they're going to go Shen top, but they're going to pick up the Lulu here to go with the Cogmore. So they did, as you said, they flexed that Shen. Kind of revealing the cards now, though, in this situation. But I guess there was no real way to do it otherwise. Once you pick Cogmore, everyone knows you're going Lulu with that.
I mean, they don't have to.
I feel like Cogmore is one of these champions where without Lulu, you're losing so much value from it.
Yeah.
Technically, they don't, but it's also... It's like Lucian, right? You always really, in the current meta, want Lucian with Melio. There is substitutes, but it doesn't feel as good. But Shen Cogmore, I think you just have such a rough time in lane. And now with the draft really coming through, remember, Locke was nerfed on this patch. And it looks like those nerfs will push VDD away from it. Instead, looking at the Yone, a lot of tools to get on top of this Cogmore. So this is going to be a hard game for Ruler.
Yeah, so Yone is going to be locked in. There's that Lulu you were talking about. And that will put the Shen up against the Rumble on the top side of the map. And it gives everyone the ability to support this Cogmore as well. Let's dive onto the Rift here for GENG versus KT. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 1. KT versus GENG. KT having a fantastic first week. This is the first time we've seen them this week of the LCK, waiting until the last possible second.
Ooh, and actually, so this is something that used to be really prevalent when Lucian Nami was a thing, is that the Lucian would end up going cleanse because you expect the exhaust on the other side. And I know there's cleanse value here, but when you have a Melio, I think you're not that pressured to take it. But specifically here, if you're dashing in and you get exhausted, it can really make the lane hard. If you can just cleanse it immediately, it's basically not there as a summoner spell.
See whether it's actually going to work out here, because like you say, they do share a very similar cooldown as well, which is kind of nice. And you could definitely always cleanse it if you are just saving it for the exhaust every single time. We'll see whether it does feel good here for Benru, who does get exhausted now, elects not to cleanse it, and will instead just take most of his health bar and damage.
Yeah, they share literally the same cooldown. I mean, there's things that adjust it, right, if you're going Inspiration, but neither of them have, so you could have just traded it there, but I guess he's waiting for a polymorph later.
Yeah, that's what I was considering, is like, do you just want to prioritize the polymorph cleanse instead?
I mean, they're both annoying to go against as a Lucian, but it has meant that he's kind of lost out on this trade and does get some damage back there, but he's getting chunked out pretty heavily.
Oh, so is PDD, as he does look for a lot of damage onto Chovy. Never mind. PDD being able to play it out quite nicely. Will take a lot of damage, but was able to dish out the same amount in kind. And now Cuz looking for an angle towards his bottom lane. Flash is available, but everything else is on cooldown. As Fenrir goes in, that's a good Glitterlance splash. But Ruler isn't going to throw out his flash. Does finally get it down. And all summoner spells have been removed from this bottom lane of GENG.
I think ultimately, though, you're not too sad about how that panned out for GENG because you traded 2 for 2 in terms of summoners. Yes, it does make the Cog more vulnerable to a future gank, but at least you burn resources from the other side. There was something traded in return. I think the slow from Duro before he flashed was really important because if you hadn't got that slow off with the Glitterlance, I think Cuz just flashes after him and he's just dead. So surviving that, definitely a silver lining there for GENG, even though they're now in a bit of a precarious position.
Yeah, we'll see how they're going to be able to play this one out, because they also managed to clear the wave, which is doubly important. Because without Flash, it was going to be difficult to set up a dive. Also did lose a bit of health in the trade as well. So, all in all, like you were saying, not the end of the world for GENG, and in fact, they hold themselves about a 300 gold advantage.
Yeah, Ruler actually backing with a bit more gold. Ends up getting a Cull and Refillable, which is a lot more sustain than Fenrir, who just has a single health potion and a longsword. So if they can get a little bit of damage down in these trades, there's the cleanse.
He did indeed save it for the polymorph, and it did indeed kind of work here, as instead Duro's going to try and turn this one. Pix is helping out.
Or the Glitterlance.
Yeah, the Voidooz does come out there as well. Effort taking a bit of damage here, but does make it to the brush and gets out of vision finally. This is looking dangerous. Who has the burst damage? The Caustic Spittle is going to actually land here. There's the Voiders as well. Ruler should play AP Cog more, to be perfectly honest. He's landing all these abilities.
Yeah, and Duro, I mean, there's going to be shielding from Effort, but you get the E Glitterlance down, Auto as well. Fenrir is kind of in that threat range, so Effort has to be quick to cover for him there. And you can also see Ruler just healing up a significant amount. Cold Sustain, Refillable Potion, having 2 stacks for a single health potion. In the long run, he's going to get a lot of health back, as you can see. And the only sustain that Emilio has is from his W, which you don't really want to burn just to heal up the Lucian. He doesn't do that much now.
Oh, in goes Fenrir, but he takes so much damage. There's the Polymorph. First blood goes to Duro. And you understand the idea. Cuz was coming in, but he just Volt broke over a corpse.
Just pulled the trigger a bit too quickly. And this feels so bad because you called Cuz down there. He's been spotted out here, which allows Canyon. He's just free farming. He's having a good time. You commit your jungler's time. You die anyway. And this is a situation where Ruler and Duro were down some.
Oh, there's the ulti from BDD right on top of Chovy, who just decides he wants to ghost away. Will successfully do that.
Yeah,
BDD even needed it.
Did miss a Q there, so I think he was looking for the all-in for the kill threat, but just wasn't quite able to connect the skill shots. Now here, no summoners available for Ruler and Duro, but just a good polymorph here, showing the value of the ability. And it's kind of frustrating playing Lucian, because it's the polymorph. Ruler now has the cleanse back up and available. Those cooldowns not synced together. So Fenrir really cannot step up right now, especially because the Lucian is so burst-based. And if there's exhaust, polymorph, and heal, you're not killing the Kog'Maw, and he will just continue to do that sustained damage.
Yeah. Well, now you've also got Canyon looking at a dragon. What's Cuz towards the top side of the map, Fenrir? Oh my goodness. Ruler presses W, and then there's sort of nowhere safe for Fenrir to go. And his 2 longswords really won't do anything. And now it's an Ocean Dragon? Like, the worst possible outcome for KT is even more sustain being added to this early game cog.
I mean, honestly, a Fierce Dragon Ocean feels so good because of the sustain in lane, and you know it's not an Ocean Soul. So it's like a double win in that regard. Canyon now level 6 as well before Cuz, so that extra pressure is added. Bot lane's already going bad for KT, but just that added impact of the Nocturnal being available, being able to jump in and shut down any attempts means they're really on the back foot. And this is kind of how Gen G want the game to be. Bot lane has come out ahead in the 2v2. You haven't had anyone die yet. The summoners are about to come back up for Ruler and Duro. And now you're really online with your composition. Stand United and Paranoia are there. Any play that KT tries to make does, you expect it will be answered.
Yeah, it's almost like Gen G, the team that is so good at making cross maps and deciding what to do around the map, they can also cheat tempo now with the composition that they have. Just feels a little bit unfair. We've gifted it to the team that really doesn't quite need it, as they demonstrated in their previous best of 3 earlier in the week. I think it'll be a tough time for KT.
If you want to be proactive as KT, then you kind of have to make a play, burn a summoner, and maybe an ult as well, and then be able to retreat and go for that play again before they back up. But it's just so many resources. Everyone on Gen G now has flashes. They have those ultimates available to defend. If you go for a play and somehow you're able to burn them and get out, there's still more resources available. I think if you want to be proactive, you have to be so surefire the play is going to work. You have to think, we can kill them through the Shen ult. Nocturne's not on that side of the map. And it's just so many conditionals that I think we're probably going to see the game slow down for a bit. And we're probably going to see fights more at these neutral objectives. Because I think if you're going for ganks on lanes, it's too many answers right now.
Well, 8 minutes on the clock. That means we have some grubs up. And not quite there yet. Cuz is making his way over, but you can see it is a bottom side clear for Canyon. Fenrir now by himself, as there is Emilio making his way back down towards the bottom side of the map. So not going to have supports involved in this little grub take, as Canyon looking for an angle towards Effort and Fenrir, but isn't going to be able to find one. And Cuz has already taken one of these grubs. Might even be able to grab all 3, to be honest, given the location of the Nocturne. So a little bit unfortunate for Gen G, not really able to make a cross-map play, although they are zoning Fenrir and Effort away from their turret for now. And BDD looking for another potential all-in angle. Let's see whether he does actually find one. Instead, just rebinds the soul, and it's going to be okay. So Grubs is traded for an entire minion wave here in this bottom lane, and plates to the Cogmore. And I have a feeling Gen G are very happy to take that trade.
Yeah, one of the things with Grubs is that you have to hit a tower to get the value.
That is a good point.
Across all 3 lanes, 5 plates still up. I mean, obviously, Grubs are going to help you get plates in the future, but for now, KT don't seem to be in that position.
Well, let's see whether Fenrir is going to get dove here underneath this turret. It could be a difficult dive. They're not exactly the tankiest. Fenrir does do a bit of damage, but he is also taking so much of it.
Yeah.
Kenyon's almost at, I'm just going to one-shot you territory.
I think this is the right play, though. Don't go in. Just whittle them down, get damage onto Fenrir, force him back. If he gets to the point where he feels like he can't stand in the tower, that's ideal. But I think they knew Cuz was going to be back on this side of the map based on his timing, so a dive would be very risky to go for. In the end, they don't kill him, but if you look at the difference between bot laners right now, they might as well have.
Yeah, that's 30 CS in the lead. Ruler was already about 500 up prior to that play happening, and so it's kind of Grubs for an extra 400 gold lead on the enemy 80 carry. That's not exactly great news when said enemy 80 carry is a Cogmore, who is very, very happy to play until the later stages of the game also with a minusculely upgraded Terminus that he can pick up, which is kind of cool.
Marginally better, so we'll see when he ends up picking that up, if he ends up picking it up. I think one thing, though, for Fenrir, if you look at the items he has in his inventory,
oh god,
this is horrible. This does not feel good. Crit Cloak and 2 longswords does not inspire too much joy right now. Already on the back foot, but again, heavily traded into now. Has to recall again.
Yeah, where did that health bar go? He just returned a lane, and immediately he just has to leave.
One
this
thing,
is not what we've been seeing from a lot of our Lucians.
One thing I will say with the Shen is you have this very typical build we've seen that Broken Blade was playing with. You know, the Titanic Hydra, the Dusk and Dawn, and then the Bandle Pipes. Really strong, making you a good duelist, but normally we see tanks into Rumble going for that Kanefuke, and that's when it really limits his pressure. With Shen not really feeling comfortable doing that when they go for the typical build path, it does mean that Perfect can just continue to apply pressure in this top side. Not the end of the world, Pakini's kept up in farm, but is down 600 gold in the matchup. Now, KT have rushed in here to get access to the Dragon Canyon, look for a steal.
Yeah,
like
Perfect. Yeah, Perfect was actually down there, and I think that Gen G got wind of it. It is going to be a Chemtech Soul. This is the Orc special, but there are actually some champions that will benefit quite a lot from a Chemtech Soul here in this game.
There's so much shielding for Gen G in particular that the heal and shield power can make a massive difference. I was actually thinking when we're in draft, is someone on KT going to feel comfortable building a Serpent's Fang? Because the value is kind of going to be insane here.
Oh yeah, well now they definitely need to build one.
For sure.
Fenrir might need to build some other items first, so I don't know whether he'll have the bandwidth to do so, but man, this, like, okay, he's got a Rage Blade, yes. It's a big item advantage for Ruler over Fenrir here, but every single one of these W-empowered auto attacks is just cutting him in half.
As well, now Ruler's the one controlling the wave and has Gwynsu, so you can just stack it up and have so much pressure. It's Gwynsu's against Coalfield's Crit Cloak. It's not even close.
No. Well, there is the living artillery to come down. Paranoia goes in, and they deliver the Shen. Keen wants in on this party, and they will be able to take down this Lucian for their second kill of the game. And now BDD looking for another potential all-in angle. Does miss another Q in that exchange, but he's not going to be punished for it.
I think it shows how dire the state of the bot lane is, that your jungler and support can be there with all cooldowns available, and you're still getting dove in the turret, and there's just nothing they can do.
Yeah. Let's have a look at it again. Let's see if we can find something that they could do.
Yeah.
Lane swap earlier.
Well, I don't really think there was much recourse. When the Shen's coming in as well, committing the extra member just to make sure, I think the right call there was for them to disengage.
A little bit of a rough time. Perfect taking some damage here as the good old Shen trading pattern. If it does work out, it is a decent chunk, no matter what you've purchased. Already does have the Titanic Hydra on the way.
Wow, look at the gold difference. He has 2,600 more gold.
Yeah. That's a big number.
That's a crazy lead to have already.
And that's often the lead we see for the Lucian Melios, right? Like, this is a lane that's built to just kind of beat anything.
Yeah.
It's not winning against this one.
I think, honestly, sometimes the issue has been with Lucian in the past and now is that laning is really fickle. Even though it has a lot of power and we've seen lanes dominate, very easy to fall behind and suddenly you can't look for those trades because you have a lot of burst. And if that burst is enough to force them out of lane or put them under, great. But if you put your burst combo in and then they just run you down and auto-attack you, then it feels really bad. And even in the Lucian Nami meta, when that was super strong, we sometimes saw them struggle and fail against the Zeri if they disrespected it, if they played the trades wrong.
Yep.
This is kind of panned out here. I will say, though, in terms of dealing with a fed singular Kog'Maw, KT do have good tools for that. But the further ahead he gets, the harder that's going to be, especially because Kog'Maw loves to itemize more defensively when he gets a bit deeper into the game.
Yeah, sort of like the 3 items and then Jack shows type builds.
Yeah.
Can certainly come on through. Just think like the Kalista builds. In fact, he's probably doing the same build that he did on the Kalista just previously. As Fenrir has to go back home again. I didn't really want to play-by-play that because it just kind of made me feel sad in my whole.
Yeah, one of the big strengths of Lucian that we've had has been playing through mid-priority and controlled mid lane. That is not going to be a thing this game. And when you have a global-based top side of the map for Gen G, if your Kog'Maw can just step up and just force them out of mid lane, it makes this game so easy to play. Rift Herald looking to be picked up as well. Cuz is in the vicinity, but I think it's just gone.
Yep. Biddy is going to come over, but that's a polymorph, and so that is a guaranteed Shelly to go over. And KT just able to get there and watch, I guess. But that is about it. Ruler is going to park himself back in this mid lane once again, continue just cutting these minions down. And Rod of Ages is now done for Chovy, and he's also got his upgraded steel caps as well, which is a pretty cool little adaptation into the Yone specifically.
Yeah, and in this situation, with the Herald, if you can break open that mid tower, you can just make it so much easier to play through your side lanes when you have these towers down. Top can be the next priority. Dragon is up in 30 seconds though, so maybe the game plan is throw the Herald down, pressure mid tower, force KT to respond, and then just sneak in and take the Dragon while they're dealing with that. Well, not really sneak, I think they'll be pretty aware, but slide on in for that one.
Yeah, or just go for a big old trade on Fenrir again and take the Dragon for free.
That also works.
That could be something that they elect to do. As Ruler will slink off into the fog of war, down towards this river as Chovy, keeping his eye on what BDD wants to do. They do get some vision over here though, so they understand where the rise is. Duro needs to be a little careful. It is somewhat dangerous to get around the jungle and get wards down as the Lulu, as they're looking for an angle towards Cuz. The taunt does not connect though here from Keen, who's just teleported in. Equalizer goes down, connects onto Ruler momentarily, and now Keen, just a one-man army, blocking 4 people from getting into the pit. Now the turn comes through. Canyon looking for the only gold lead that KT has, and they are going to be able to get it. Keen gets a wild growth, that keeps him alive, and Gen G, they hold a monopoly on the kills. They grab the next Drake, they move to probably a 4,000 gold lead after this turret goes down.
Gen G going to pick up mid tower and the Dragon and just further extend this gold lead. Fenrir trying to clear out the wave, clear out the Herald, and he will unfortunately let it get another charge. But I think KT just didn't have the confidence to go in there, and as a result just didn't really achieve much of anything. So we see the play start off, and for me you have to layer ults onto the Kog'Maw if you want him to die. So we end up getting the Equalizer coming down, but there's nothing holding him on the Equalizer. We get the ult, the Paranoia to buy time, and then they try and attack the Shen here. We actually even end up seeing the Vial committed onto the Shen, but Dura is able to keep Keen alive, and they just kite away, and I'm just thinking, is that really the target that you wanted to go for?
Probably not.
Yeah, the Shen also still had that TP shield come in, and I think it kind of showed that KT already feeling that deficit, already feeling desperate. We're just like, look, if we can try and pick off a target at the side, we'll do that, but we can't really fight. But it just kind of feels underwhelming because you just gave over another member, you went in position to defend mid, and Gen G just further extend their lead. I'd almost rather they just kind of sent it onto the Kog'Maw, and if it backfired, it's like, well, the game's over, but at least we tried.
Yeah, and honestly, the game already feels pretty dire here for KT, because, I mean, this Gen G comp from ahead is so simple to play out, right? Because you just always can be anywhere on the map at all times, right? You've got Realm Warp, Paranoia, you've got the Shen, you can defend any sort of play that KT wants to make. So as soon as KT are like, oh, we need to desperately look for picks, well, you never get to find picks unless Gen G are okay with it.
And because it's gone the Serpent's Fang, which, especially on a melee champion, you get the higher value, it is a ton of value in a Gen G, but that buy is going to be absolute paper. having that, not having the extra HP we normally get from a second item.
Yep.
So considering the amount of damage available to Gen G, definitely puts Cuz in a delicate spot. Once you ult in, you're probably going to die regardless, but you at least have to hope you take out the target, which should be Ruler. Should be Ruler they're looking to go for.
Yes, but Ruler hasn't died yet. Still hasn't picked up a kill, which is quite surprising given the fact that he is 3,000 gold in the lead. Managed to get there at 0-0-3.
What feels worse is that they didn't even burn a summoner from anyone but Keen, and Keen not having flash is not really a concern.
Yeah.
I think if you go into this next fight, Ruler has flash, everyone on Gen G has flash, it's going to be even harder. You want people down summoners to make this KT composition work, but I think it's very difficult to see a window where they force them without just several KT dying.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult. Maybe to just catch Chovy in a side lane, maybe something like that is what they're going to have to angle themselves for. Cuz does have the cease and desist. The Rise is going to have a rough time dealing with that.
Well, that's the joy of the Gen G composition. You catch him alone in the side lane, suddenly he's not so alone anymore as the whole squad turns up.
So maybe you have to try to catch somebody else, get the tools, then catch Chovy in the side lane.
I think that's the thing. Little non-committal play where you just get the summoner then disengage could do wonders, but it's hard to pull off. And with Baron up and available, any play you go for like that, if it backfires, you're just going to lose that objective.
Yeah, and I feel like you have to invest everything if you ever want to actually get out ahead, right? Because KT is so far behind at this stage. If Ruler is anywhere near a fight, you are just going to lose. He just has way more DPS. It's a rock and a hard place type scenario here for KT. We'll see whether they can find a miracle, though. They have done so in the past, even against Gen G in the more recent memory. But yeah, Ruler does have 2 items as well as another cheeky recurve bow on top of it. He's got steel caps as well, right? I mean, the only champion that's doing magic damage here in this game is the Rumble anyway. So being able to mitigate the Yone, the Vi, and the Lucian all at once just feels pretty fantastic, which is why we have triple steel caps already complete.
It's also a Rumble who hasn't gone for the Leandries, so like not posing as much threat as he would be otherwise. Has the Rocket Belt instead. Obviously can be useful to get on top of targets to disengage, but Leandry is obviously syncing very well with Rumble's kit. That's a lot of turret playing gold for one team. Not so much for the other.
Yeah, there are some pretty healthy turrets here on Gen G's side. Top side of the map does show that Perfect has had a pretty decent game so far. Even though he has died once, that was not part of the whole laning situation. But he's getting the top lane treatment, that's for sure, where it doesn't really matter that you've done well. The whole rest of the map has kind of fallen apart around you. And now KT are actually moving over looking to see whether they can equalize these dragons. This would be sole point for Gen G if they can get in there. Stands United, up and available. Keen just bounces his way into the back of the pit as Cuz doesn't quite hit the Vault Breaker. BDD gets a knock up onto Keen, but he just doesn't take damage. Cuz has to get out of there. The Drake will be claimed by Gen G. There's a nice smite to come on down, and now are they going to get the re-engage as Chovy will just Realm Warp his way out of there, and Gen G just not even interested in a fight.
Yeah, KT's so hesitant to engage. Cuz in the pit was an easy focus target, but they just looked to challenge, and now this is the cost. The Dragon is one thing, but you're going to lose mid-tower as well. You're going to lose a lot of your control over the Baron area. Doesn't feel too great for KT. Cuz just not really even able to get into the pit for the smite itself. Was just forced away. So just good control from Gen G there.
Yeah. Dusk and Dawn very close to being completed here for Keen at the same time. Titanic Hydra has been done for a while. But let's have a look at how this one started. Megacone engage here from Keen.
Yeah, we see Cuz ending up in the pit, and then it looked like this Vault Breaker was trying to get him out, or just hit Keen. But either way, he ends up trapped in the pit. We have to get the Meteor ult and a flash to get him out, and then without those tools, he feels so hesitant to approach again, is late to be in range for the smite, and unable to combo it with his Q to try and secure it, and Gen G just disengage.
Yeah, Chovy just walks out. Realm Warp going to be available there. There's that Dusk and Dawn we were talking about. Big 2-item spike for the Shen. Does a lot of damage now if he manages to get in taunt range. And Chovy will just be matching Perfect here towards the top side of the map. Maybe he's the shining light here for KT. But I just don't think so. I don't think a 500 gold lead on a Rumble is really going to help all that much, even if they do have a predominantly AD-based composition outside of everything else. There is at least some Merc Treads here for Keen. And like you say, the Rumble's build isn't necessarily doing maximum damage. I don't think this would be scoring 5 out of 5 on Huni's list. Let's just say that.
No, I don't think so either. But to be honest, I'm not sure it would make that much of a difference.
No.
I just want to see a coordinated engage from KT. If you lose the game immediately, I honestly don't mind. But just try and kill Ruler. And if you lose the game off it, well, at least you try to do what your composition wants to do. But this sitting around and waiting is not going to win you the game.
No. It's just going to allow you to watch as Keen takes all of your stuff. And there's nothing you can do about it. KT is spotted, setting up a little bit of a gank Krug pit, I guess you could say.
Daylight value there, helping out Gen G. And while this is going on, Keen just hammering away at this tower, getting some damage down on it. And now they're just going to start the Baron, and the confidence, the early smite just to get it rolling.
Yep.
It is Scrying Orb, and it looks like they're not ready to potentially throw away the game there.
I mean, Bio-Arcane Barrage does so much damage to the Baron as well.
It is, though. It's not Hunter, it's Terry this time.
Ah, okay. So Terry is not as scary as the Hunting Baron.
Of course he's not with a name like Terry.
Yeah, I know, but...
He's a nice guy.
No, that's a good point. Did we end up with just Hunter for... Sorry, what's the
Owl.
Hunting Baron? He was...
There's
that
Hunter
Owl?
is the Hunting Baron.
All-Seeing Baron's Owl.
Yeah, and then Hunting Baron is just Hunter.
Is he just Hunter?
I think it makes the most sense.
Okay. And then Territorial is Terry, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I really like Hunter as Hunting Baron.
Yeah, well,
I feel like it's too simple.
It is quite simple.
I feel like that doesn't make me feel the same. Like Terry, even though it is just part of Territorial, it just sounds great.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else would go for them. If you have suggestions, I'm all ears. We can think on it. We don't have to come up with it right now.
Okay. But I am just going to continue thinking about that instead of paying attention to the game. So I kind of want to come up with an idea.
So you can just move on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll take a survey from chat, see what they've got for us.
Oh, Chovy, level 16, and he's going Actualizer third, not Rocket Belt?
Oh my, who is this? This isn't Chovy. Paranoia comes in, that's Canyon. Wild Growth comes down, and down goes Cuz. No way to even interact with the video game here today. This was one of those story games, and he's at the arc where it's very depressing, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's all right, Baron's down to 50%. There's no smite on KT. They have to kill them or leave, I think.
Leave is a good answer.
Well, they are going to do neither. As down goes BDD. Yes, he definitely unbound his soul in a very real way in that moment. As now, KT are trying to run away. Effort doesn't find the fire kick, but they do at least.
Fenrir, that is the wrong side of the ring.
No, he's defecting. He's like, no, I joined the wrong team. I joined the wrong team. Keen is going to say, no, you didn't. Get out of here. He just finds it. There's the auto.
See, I think in this situation, you know Byron is gone. And you don't really have the setup to go for the fight. You are behind. Going 4v5 with this deficit, not ideal. You could have gone for mid-tower. You could have gone for Dragon Vision. I think we watched them do Baron and die to them. Was probably my least favorite approach.
Force of Silver in chat solved it.
Yeah?
Hunting Baron is just Huni.
There we go.
Oh, it was right there!
Are we going to get confused, being that there's now a Huni Baron and a Huni?
Yes!
Okay, I'm fine
So
with
it makes it so good. Oh my god, that is so good. Oh, thank you so much. Oh man. That's the best thing ever. Okay,
and it fits because the Huni Baron does a lot of damage. And
that's all Huni wants?
That's all he wants.
Huni Baron is actually just a rumble with Sorks and Leandris. Straight into Death Cap, baby. Yeah, I love it. All right. That's at least solved that one. We can focus on the game. Wait, where did the game go? Ox, it's kind of over.
It's been over for a while, and I'm still yet to see the engage come out from KT. You have Yone, you have Vi, you have Rumble. Click all your buttons onto Ruler. You will probably fail, and the game's already doomed, right? But I just want to see the combo once. Just give it a go.
All right, well, this is going to be their last opportunity to do so, I'm pretty sure. Living Artilleries are raining down. Terminus has been completed here for Ruler, as well as halfway towards his Jack shows.
Oh, yes, Terminus as well.
Yeah. There's an actualizer there for Chovy. Like, I mean, as far as item spikes, this is about as many items. They haven't died yet this game. I mean, we're a Drake and 3 grubs away from a perfect game. It's pretty doomed. Ruler is just going to fire so many autos.
Wow.
I mean, one more and effort would have definitely died. And now they're going to send it. Let's see whether they can find it. As Ruler almost loses half his health. He did lose half his health. Nice work, KT. You nailed it. Fenrir wants to kill Canyon. Canyon doesn't care. Look at that. Just stands around, will walk up and kill him. Didn't want to give the kill over to Keen or Chovy. Keen had killed him already, and Chovy's had enough kills so far this year. And now BDD, he unbinds the soul. He's not going to snap back, though, unfortunately. These Nexus turrets, not long for the world, and this was an utter thrashing from Gen G in game number 1.